Well, we got Monday Night Football tonight here on San Antonio Sports Stars. Coming up here in half an hour, the Bills take on the Jets with first place in the AFC East on the line. It all starts right after Extra Innings with Pledge at 6:30. The Cowboys got blown out at home again, this time by the Detroit Lions, falling 47-9 as the Cowboys turned it over three times. They're 3-3 going into their bye week, while the Texans are now 5-1 after being the Patriots.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I appreciate y'all listening, however y'all may be listening, whether that is on your radio at 94.1 FM. If you're listening online via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com, or if you're tuned in via our YouTube channel, all our shows broadcast live on YouTube. Just search at SA Sports Star. Go ahead, subscribe. You can like, you can comment along with the show as it happens, or feel free to call in at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Lots to get into today. Not a lot of time to do it as Monday Night Football is coming up on our heels, presented by Flight by Yingling, the next generation in light beer, as the Bills will be shorthanded. No James Cook in the backfield as he has been ruled out with a toe injury for tonight's game against Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, who have a new interim head coach, Ulbrich, leading the charge now, and a new offensive coordinator as well, as Nathaniel Hackett has been replaced. So we'll see if those changes spark any life into the New York Jets as they play for first place in the AFC East right now. Appreciate everybody for listening. Fred, already in on the chat, the Bullpen Bandits on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. Look, the Dallas Cowboys had a rough go of it. None more difficult than probably Mike McCarthy, who answered questions at his post-game press conference and earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. They were breaking down what McCarthy was talking about during his press conference, and a lot of it revolved around practice.
There were a couple things that you say this all the time, is you are what your record says you are. I like that someone asked McCarthy about if are you what your record says you are? Are you, is 3-3 an accurate description of what this team is?
You are what your record is. I mean, so I think we've had some out of balance games that when you get in out of balance games and you're on the wrong side of it, you know, you have the numbers that we have. You know, our turnover ratio is as low as I can ever remember it here. So, and that's not who I am as a head coach, and that's not where we invest our time. That's not where we invest it. I mean, you have to have ROI. I don't care what level of football you play. Football's not going to change, and that's why they call it football. And we're not taking care of the football, and we're definitely not taking it away. So we need to improve there. And we've had 7 turnovers in 7 days, so maybe 8.
Yeah, that's pathetic, man.
If I hear balance one more time.
Well, he's right.
Oh, he's right.
So people will say, well, they couldn't run the ball. That's why they lost this game. They never had a chance to run the ball because, like, once you're down 14-3 or 21-3, like, what are you going to do? Get 3 yards at a time?
No, even if you're down 21 points in the first quarter, you can still run the football if you can run the football. There's still plenty of time. And that's the problem. That, we're out of balance and we couldn't. No, you're ill-equipped. You're ill-equipped and ill-planned. That's the problem. It's out of balance. They know you can't run the football. Get used to it. They know. Everybody knows. They know you can't stop the run. There's been some blips, but for the most part, everybody looks at the game film going, yeah, we're going to bust one on you. We're going to run all over these fools. And Detroit, everything they did yesterday worked. Everything.
They asked him about the difference. What's different right now on the road and home? Why are we having so little success in Arlington?
We've played winning football on the road. We played, three good teams. We have three good teams that have come in here and played well against us. So, I mean, it's a National Football League. It's not who you play. It's when you play them. And, that's part of where we are. We have, our lineups are changing. This is a good experience with some rough moments. And this definitely was a rough moment today.
They were blessed with adversity, AJ.
It was a rough moment.
It was a good experience all in all when you look back on it.
It was a rough moment when we were beaten with sticks and basically like
the weather was good.
Beheaded and gang raped in front of 100,000 people.
The sun on the field, it was so pretty.
Yeah,
I mean, those Detroit fans were having fun. Everybody had a good time, I thought.
I like when in the fourth quarter when you could hear the "Let's Go Lions" chants. I was like, dude, this is embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Yeah. It really is. It's funny because I say it all the time in Vegas for the Raiders games. Especially if it's like a national brand team. Yesterday was a great example. I had friends at the game yesterday. They were like, it was probably 70-30 Steelers fans. It felt like a Steelers home game. So that's not surprising to me. But the Dallas Cowboys, like you expect it, and I know that it wasn't like less than 50% Cowboys fans, but it's just once everyone leaves and all that's left behind are the celebrating fans, that's when it becomes very embarrassing.
We watched it. I watched it happen with the Saint game. I mean, by the third quarter, it was a Saints party, and it felt like it. I didn't hear the game when I was at the Saints one, but Detroit on TV, it was a Detroit game.
Here's what Mike McCarthy, he gave a message to the fans.
Well, I mean, trust me, we're disappointed too, and we got unbelievable fans. So, not only here at home but on the road. I mean, it's unbelievable to pull up to a hotel or come out in pregame and see the fans. So yeah, definitely, we definitely want to play better at home. I think that's only natural.
Okay, now let's get to something tangible. I want to hear his excuse for his offensive line, specifically with Smith over Guyton at left tackle, because I don't. There might be a method to this. Didn't pay off though.
Tyler Guyton's he's not 100%. Obviously, I think if you saw there at the end, we went with Awesome over him. So that's just kind of where he is medically.
Medically.
Okay. Medically. That's what he says.
That thought of going against yet another All-Pro. We thought we'd let him take the day off.
So this is what it boils down to. They basically asked him, do you think that getting all your guys healthy is going to cure what ails you?
I don't think that that doesn't just solve it. We need to. We're not playing to the rhythm of tenacity that you need to, and with that comes confidence, which comes winning. What we accomplished in Pittsburgh, there was a chunk of confidence, but still there was a lot there to correct. I mean, let's be honest. So, but we were able to overcome things that we did in that game. They were playing really well. So we didn't overcome anything today.
You know what, man? Just listen to this. I kind of feel bad for Mike McCarthy. I know I probably shouldn't, but because he's the head that's eventually going to roll for all of this. And I don't know that it's all his fault. I don't know that he's not out there throwing intercept. He's not turning it over 5 times. Like there's something to maybe these players just aren't good enough.
Well, no, I don't agree with that. But I also agree that it's not all his fault. But when you take the job with the Dallas Cowboys,
no, you're right.
You know what you're getting into.
Right.
So I don't feel bad there. I do think that if you're level-headed and you look at what happened yesterday, and you've just said, you know what, you're going to lose to the Detroit Lions on Sunday. You mad at that? No, I'm not mad at losing to what is one of the top 3 teams in football, but it's how you lost. And it just looked like a team that continues to be a front runner. And that is, at the end of the day, what McCarthy and Dak are going to be known for unless they change the narrative. And at every opportunity they've had new contract, old contract, new player, old player. Both these guys have been unable to change the narrative that you can only be successful if things go right to start with. And if you stumble out of the block, that you can make things right. And they have yet to do it. And they, for whatever reason, they cannot find a way to overcome any kind of adversity.
They can't. And I think that's a culture issue, because you look at what Dan Campbell has done with the Detroit Lions. He's changed the culture of that program. And a lot of that, I think, ends up coming back down to Jerry Jones and empowering his head coaches. We had a caller during the Blitz earlier that talked about Jerry Jones only really wanting to hire people that he can control the narrative with as a head coach. And it's hard. And you could tell, especially this offseason, that Mike McCarthy was also frustrated with how the offseason went for the Dallas Cowboys, because certain tweaks to how things were done could have changed the influence of this offseason and what the Cowboys were able to accomplish. Instead, they rolled in with this narrative idea that they could do it with a bunch of guys who had never proven it before and were young or rookies. And it's blowing up in their face currently, and injuries are making it even worse than it previously was, especially injuries to key players like DeMarcus Lawrence, like DeRon Bland, like even Tyler Guyton right now, who he said isn't 100%, which I get it, but why not roll with the line that you had at the end of Pittsburgh in this game against Detroit and let Guyton get fully healthy before coming back out of the bye? It's a head scratcher, but it is where the Cowboys currently are. We'll see if, like last year, where they ripped off 6 of 7 coming out of the bye, if they can do something similar and get some sort of semblance of fixes in place for this team. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, speaking of those changes that were made this offseason, how much have they affected this team? Well, the Blitz had a really heated discussion on how those changes are actually affecting the play on the field. We'll get into that next right here on Extra Innings with Pledge. And then Thursday Night Football presented by Flight by Yingling.
Howdy, Ags. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, inviting you to watch all A&M games at the Angry Elephant at 281 in Redland Road. Owned by Chip Ingram, class of 98, the Angry Elephant is known for their liberal cocktails at conservative prices and the best hot dog in Texas. Since 2012, the Angry Elephant's been the place to watch A&M, and this year is no different. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Rue Pub at 281 in Redland Road. The Angry Elephant. Like your car, love your Aggies. Gig 'em.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks, the unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
Hey, sports bettors, Joe Reinigal here to tell you about my favorite sportsbook and casino, BetUS.com. You know, football is back, so it's time to get in on the action. I endorse one sportsbook and casino, and that is BetUS. BetUS went large for you this season. A huge offer, 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Get started today at BetUS.com or give them a call, 1-800-MY-BETUS. BetUS, where the game begins.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Get your holidays started with the perfect tree in your perfect style from the Home Depot. Whether you want something that you can assemble in a few clicks, steal the show with over 2,000 color-changing bulbs, or a tree with lights that can be controlled by remote or foot pedal. The Home Depot has it all in our huge assortment of premium trees. Plus, get free delivery on over 2 million items this holiday from the Home Depot. Subject to availability. See homedepot.com/delivery for details.
Meet Cheryl. Hey, she's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Here's your chance to own Texas coastal property for your vacations and rental income. Hi, I'm Jason with Eden Development. We're excited to invite you to our exclusive one-day land sale this Saturday, October 19th, to discover coastal luxury RV sites or turnkey tiny homes. Yours for as little as $59.9. That's right, $59.9. These exclusive properties offer a resort-style pool, lazy river, community clubhouse, fishing pier, boat storage, private lake access, pickleball courts, and much more. Located minutes from the stunning beaches of Rockport and Port Aransas, these sites are perfect for family vacations or as a lucrative rental investment. This land sale is one day only. This Saturday, October 19th, by appointment only. Call now, 361-520-2380. That's 361-520-2380. Excellent financing options. Call now to schedule your private showing. 361-520-2380. That's 361-520-2380.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its head-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Frank Mateo on our YouTube live feed saying the best coach on the Cowboys last year is in first place of the NFC East. Yeah, remember, Dan Quinn was made to be the scapegoat, both by the fans and eventually by Jerry Jones. Now, he wasn't fired. He just ended up taking a head coaching job elsewhere, but the fans definitely turned their ire of how last season ended, rightfully so, with how the season ended, with the defense not being able to stop anything, falling on Dan Quinn's plate. And that was an issue, and it was an issue all season long for teams that could, like these teams that have, punch the Cowboys in the face. And all of a sudden now, that's not looking like it was an issue. As a matter of fact, Dan Quinn took the one thing the Cowboys did extremely well with him out the door, which was turn people over. Because before Dan Quinn walked in the door, they had a tough time forcing turnovers. And since he's left, they've had a hard time forcing turnovers. And apparently it could just be a mindset instilled by the coordinator, but there have been a ton of changes for the Dallas Cowboys. And earlier today, some of those changes, especially offensively, there's questions as to whether those changes are truly affecting how this offense is playing. And the blitz with Jason and Joe, which you can catch weekdays from 2 to 6 right here on San Antonio Sports Star, discussed what the actual effect the changes on offense are having on this team.
That starting offensive line yesterday was the one that finished the game against Pittsburgh where they played really well.
They did.
Yesterday, they got pushed around. You saw the blitzing and where they were coming from. Now, up until he broke his leg, and man, that was awful to see.
It was terrible.
But you're looking at the best defensive player in the league who was on pace to win DPOY. He's a handful for everybody, and there's so much talent there. I'm not surprised that the offensive line struggled. I am surprised they struggled as badly as they did, even after Hutchinson got hurt.
That's it.
I mean, they couldn't block anybody yesterday.
No.
And I don't know if that's offensive line scheme. There's times where you'll have a change at the offensive line coach, and they'll quit doing this, and they'll start doing that. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but it is frustrating. But I think it's inaccurate and irresponsible to say there's not a lot of changes on that offense when we talked about there's
totally
not enough
disagree
weapons
with that.
around
It's
there.
not inaccurate or irresponsible.
Oh.
There's not a lot of change on that offense.
How many times have you bitched about Jerry not going and find a running back, and you could have got Derrick Henry?
Wait, you could have.
Yes.
You didn't want him. It was too much money.
What, me?
You.
Me? I never said that.
It's beside the point.
Well, it is. If you're going to say I said something,
You
which
did
is
say
inaccurate. Derrick Henry?
Yes.
I wanted Derrick Henry all offseason.
Dude, we'll find the tape. I
please
disagree
do.
with that. I want to find that because you didn't say that. You didn't want it. He's too expensive.
No,
you
I've
said.
never said that. I've always wanted Derrick Henry.
I think you did say that. I don't know. I
Was
thought he was
Pledge yelling at us through the
I thought he
glass
was
now?
talking to us. He's talking to somebody else. Look, there's not a lot of change. Brandon Cooks is gone. But other than that, you got CD. You paid him. He's your guy. He can't find any place to get open anywhere. And you've got your Jalen Tolbert. You got Jalen Brooks. You got Flournoy. You got all these guys out there that can't find anything. There's not a lot of change there. There's just not. Running back is the biggest change. That's the biggest change. That's it. Other than that, you've got the same offense.
Changing a couple offensive linemen in a running game are major changes by any standard. Now, Derrick Henry, I wanted, especially when I saw what he signed for in Baltimore. Tony Pollard on a long-term deal, I was ready to move on from.
Well, why? He had a hell of a day yesterday.
He did yesterday.
And he'd be a hell of a lot better than what you have here.
He would be. But knowing what he was going to command, I was okay.
Well, then they got to spend money on somebody.
I thought they had replaced him with a capable running back.
Well, they did. Zeke Elliott.
I said capable running back.
I'm just saying that's the replacement.
I don't get
right
2016, 2017, Zeke. I don't want him.
Jeez. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not playing well. Dak's not playing anywhere near he played last year.
No.
So, I mean, nobody's playing as well. And you blame, who do you blame that on? You got the same play caller. He's calling the same plays, but all of a sudden now his plays suck. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the difference is.
Offensive line not holding, guys not getting open. Coverage is all on CD.
So
He's not getting open.
They're just
and
not
Dak
playing
isn't getting
as
him
well.
the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, your boy Jake Ferguson didn't do a damn
No,
thing
he
yesterday.
sucked yesterday. I said that earlier. He was terrible. You're exactly right. Everybody played poorly yesterday, and they've played poorly a lot this year, all of them. But I'm not sure that there's that big of a change, especially if you say Cooper Beebe is doing a great job, then really the only other guy is Tyler Guyton, and they yanked him yesterday for a guy that's been here, a veteran. So I'm not sure that there's all that much change.
Well, and again, though, Tyler Smith kicks out to tackle. That's a new position for him. And you got TJ Bass starting at guard, which is always a little bit scary. You lose a couple of guys and things go south. Ask Jeff Traylor.
It's true. And Fred Robert Casares Jr. says, hey, Pledge, do you think the players lost confidence in Coach McCarthy? No, I think Coach McCarthy still has that locker room, but it's going to be very interesting. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledge. What you got to say about the Cowboys?
I know everybody's wanting to get, that we should have got a running game, but the state that the Cowboys are in, it doesn't matter. It's Jerry Jones is not about the proper decisions right now. Even if we would have got Derrick Henry, he would have had a terrible year because it's just the culture, and it's not that they have a bad culture. They just have the wrong culture. And it's not about winning championships. It's not about the Super Bowl. It's really,
it's Jerry Jones. He is the culture.
Jerry Jones. Yes. Yeah. And he's the figurehead. If you think of, let's say, if I asked you, who's the figurehead in Kansas City, what would you say?
I would probably say it's Andy Reid, and everything trickles down from there.
Right. And he's proven that he's done great. So Jerry Jones is the guy who leads the circus, and they have no weapons for CeeDee Lamb to play off of. They have nothing else other than Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. And even though Dak Prescott got the most money and he deserves the most blame because of, the professional way, he has nobody to help him. There's nothing to help him other than.
I appreciate the phone call. We've got Thursday Night Football coming up next, right here, presented by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
Awesome Tickets is your personal ticket broker. Big games, big concerts, big events. Need tickets? Stay local and call Awesome Tickets. Stop paying all those crazy fees on ticket apps. Awesome Tickets